Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's topic is related to how to calculate velocity for a new team. It's an interesting topic, right? Like for a new team, how to get this average velocity. What is velocity and why it is calculated as an average, we have covered in our previous episode. So if you have not listened to that episode, I request you all please listen to that episode because we have covered what is velocity and how to calculate it so that it will be easy for you to get the information in this episode. Okay, let's talk about a new team. Okay, then we will get into the topic of velocity calculation. So, when we say new team, team members will be joining the team, we will be setting the process, we will be understanding what will be the best way of working, we will try to align as a team and come up with different set of ways of working and the process so that it will be benefiting us throughout the execution and the product phase. So when all these things are happening, we cannot expect team to achieve story points in the way that normal execution will give. When I say what is normal execution, what is at the beginning? Okay, let's consider a situation like a new team member is joining, so we will be setting up some kind of training program, some kind of ramp up activities, and they'll be still taking some time to settle down. All those things are happening at the beginning. So in this time, you cannot expect the achieved story points will be coming and they will be able to deliver some outcome as part of functionality, as part of sprint deliverable during initial sprints because they are still uh, trying to settle down. So in those cases, if you try to capture the velocity, how it will be really useful. Why we are calculating a velocity? The main important thing is for predicting. It is going to help us. Okay, like the example, like on an average I can walk 3 miles in an hour. So you can predict that okay, Selvi will be able to walk on an average, she may cover almost like 3 miles in an hour. So you are able to predict because I already told that is my average speed. In the similar fashion, if you are able to understand this value of velocity, then you will be able to better get into the predictability. But when you are unable to calculate the average velocity with fine details, then the prediction also will go for a toss. So the whole concept is getting diluted, right? So, how to resolve this? What to do for new teams? Because they need some time, definitely, because it's a new team. So the first thing is you cannot calculate average velocity for a new team at least for a period. When I say at least for a period, it can be based on your team. It can vary from one sprint also, you can settle down, and you can take 2 to 3 sprints also, and sometimes you can go till 5 sprints also. So this, you should make this alignment with your team, guys, like when we can start calculating our average velocity. The reason is we are still settling down, we are trying to understand our backlog items, we are trying to set our development infrastructure, we are trying to set our CACD pipeline, we are trying to understand our review process, we are trying to understand our overall ways of working. So everything we are doing now, so it is not the right time to start calculating our velocity from now. So what is the time frame that we are looking to settle down all these things? So it can vary from team to team, and because some teams initially start with the full strength of the team, so it is very easy to uh, get the team into a pace. But if there is lot of fluctuating, there are people getting in like 2 to 3 sprints, there is always a moment of people getting into the team, then there are challenges to settle down at least for 3 sprints. So it's not like every time when people are joining we have this problem. No, it is only for the new team structure, because we are settling with everything. It's not only with people movement, it's with process, it's with ways of working, it's with the entire team. As a team we are aligning, right? So there are always challenges to get into that whole concept. So till that time we cannot calculate average velocity. So I have not even started walking, right? Like in day to day scenario, I have not even started the habit of daily walk. I have just planned, like, okay, from morning 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. is my plan to go for my daily walk, and this is the place I'm planning to walk, and uh, this is the time period, and I'm going at this place. All those things I'm trying to refine it and keeping it. Will this help me to get the value? Okay, oh, this place and this time, so Selvi will be able to walk 3 miles per hour, 3 miles in the hour. No, it cannot be, right? Because I have not even started walking, so no one can be able to judge what is my pace. Similar way, team is still settling down and team is working on the planning related activities, and most of the work items that they are working is also related to setting up the infrastructure and ensuring the development setup is available. All those things are getting into picture. So these are not going to deliver any kind of functionality, and this is more like kind of planning sprint. These sprints are going to help us for our further execution to go in a smoother way. So in that way we cannot conclude this as some kind of story points and start actually calculating the average velocity. So even though I started walking every day, but what will happen, at least for 2 to 3 days, I may not be able to get with the speed, and I will be having some trouble, because maybe after a long time I'm starting my walking habit. So it may get into some kind of challenges. So I may not be able to see some kind of value from day 1, 2, 3. So I need to wait for some time to calculate my average, right? Because this value is not going to help me to predict my walking style. Similar way, few sprints at the beginning are not going to help us in calculating the average velocity, because average velocity is going to be used for predictability. So when these sprints are just for planning and preparation, so we need to wait. So in these cases, what we need to convey or what we need to ensure about this velocity. So first thing is, we should be using a terminology called achieved story points at the end of every sprint, and we don't have anything called as velocity. Achieved story point says that this particular sprint team has achieved so and so story points. This we will be doing at least for 3 sprints or 5 sprints, depends on the nature of the team and the way that we are ramping up. So in a nutshell, for new teams, we will always use the word or the terminology achieved story points, and there is no average velocity. And second point is, average velocity cannot be calculated for new teams because we are still in the preparation and planning. Third thing is, we need to ensure what time we can start calculating the average velocity. The reason being, as a team, we need to be aligned, and we should have always a target when we will be able to set that rhythm. So these are the points I just want to convey about this topic. Thanks everyone for listening. Happy learning and stay tuned.